When England drew Croatia in the World Cup draw, I wasn't best pleased. When you look at the teams that England could have had out of pot 2, I'm not saying Croatia were the outstanding difficult team. There was a number of teams out of pot 2 that you would think actually would give England a real tough test. You could argue that Croatia were the toughest possible draw from that pot 2, and that's despite England winning the last 2 games against the Croats. They're a good side, they're a tough team. Been here before, everybody. Do not underestimate Croatia. And as an England fan, certainly in my lifetime, Croatia have given me my worst moments following my country. Of course, I'm referring to the 2018 semi-final World Cup where they knocked us out, our chance to reach our first World Cup final in 60 years blown. And of course, the Wally with the Brolly night, that awful Euro 2008 qualification campaign where we finished the group with a 3-2 loss against Croatia and they knocked us out of the Euros before the tournament even started. That's the last time England failed to qualify for a major tournament, by the way. So even though England's record against Croatia is actually pretty strong, the games that they have won against us have been real key moments in the past 10-20 years for England. So you could possibly forgive me for thinking that Croatia are actually a bogey team for England, but it isn't the case. It really is not the case at all. When you look at the statistics behind this fixture and you look at the games that England and Croatia have played, England more often than not do come out on top. It feels like though there's not another major European team we've met so regularly in major competitive matches. In fact, out of the 11 games that England and Croatia have been involved in, 9 of those have been in competitive games. Only 2 of those have been in friendlies. Of course, the last time England faced Croatia was in 2021. It was for Euro 2020 when in that tournament we opened our campaign against Croatia, and it was billed then, as it will be now, as a tough opening fixture. On that night, on that day, it was at Wembley Stadium. Raheem Sterling, if you remember, scored the winning goal. It was a 1-0 victory for England. And before that, a couple of years earlier, Harry Kane, of course, with the winning goal and a 2-1 victory against Croatia in the UEFA Nations League. So, past couple of games that we've played Croatia, they've been tight fixtures, been tight affairs, but England have had the upper hand. Beautiful moment from Harry Kane. What isn't beautiful, though, is 85% of you that aren't subscribed who regularly watch this channel. So if you're not subscribed, please do so. It really helps me out a lot. All fans are welcome, not just England fans. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. So out of those 11 games, Croatia have only beaten England 3 times. But as I've said before, 2 of those were major defeats. The World Cup semi-final and, of course, the defeat that knocked us out of the Euros in the qualification rounds. In fact, the third defeat also came in that same European qualification campaign as well. But England do have the beating of Croatia. Out of those 11 fixtures, England have won 6 of those matches. Croatia are currently ranked 11th best team in the world. And if we're being frank, if the World Cup weren't being hosted by 3 poor teams, Croatia, in any other tournament, particularly of a tournament of this size, in any other World Cup, with that FIFA ranking, with the way they're playing, with the way they've qualified, they would have been a pot 1 team. They were the highest ranked team in that pot 2, so you can say that England were a little bit unlucky to draw Croatia out of that pot. Often stereotyped though at the minute as an ageing side with Perisic and Modric and a number of other players coming towards the end of the career. There's no doubt even the most hardened Croatian fan will admit that they have had a golden generation of players over the past 10 to 15 years. But I think that ageing label is a little bit unfair, to be honest. They've got players like Guardiola, Ivanovic, Vlasic, Vuskovic, Zvonarek at Bayern Munich. There are young players out there, but of course they're going to have to go some, aren't they, to replace that golden generation that I was just talking about. So yes, I know Croatian fans will be in this chat saying they've got a lot of young players coming through as well, but I think what people are saying is, are they going to be as good as your Perisic's and your Modric's? Probably not. But I do think it's unfair that people label them as an ageing team. They still rely on some of those ageing players, don't get me wrong, but I think now they've got a nice balance of youth coming through as well. Croatia did have a very easy qualification campaign, and I know that is coming from an England fan. So I was looking back and thinking, are Croatia sort of in the same boat as England? Haven't played anyone of any great worth over recent years, but of course that's wrong because they did get to the quarter-finals of the UEFA Nations League where they did lose to France over a 2-leg fixture, but they beat France in Croatia 2-0, a very good night for them. They did lose to Scotland though in November 2024. The fact is Croatia wouldn't have wanted England either. Obviously, as their opening fixture as well. They would have been looking at that World Cup draw and they would have fancied other pot 1 teams above England. Look, I know, once again, my chat's going to be full of Croatians, fully confident that they're going to batter us in this opening game, but I just don't see that. I don't see Croatia beating England, I really don't. But this is no doubt a tough fixture for both nations, and we could have both hoped for something a little bit better than this, to be honest with you, on that opening day. So I'm not confident that Croatia were actually happy to see us in this group as well. I do think England are a better team than Croatia. I genuinely believe that. I think for a country that's only got 4 million people, though, Croatia that is, you know, a country only slightly bigger population-wise than Wales, it's remarkable how they continuously punch above their weight. And like I said at the start of this video, I'm not underestimating Croatia. I'm really not. I just think England are a better team, and I don't think that's a wild take. Having said all that, though, I do expect and demand 3 points from England in this match. If we go into this match and lose or draw, it's a really disappointing start for England. I'll be very disappointed if we do not come away with 3 points. 17th of June, 9 p.m. UK time, Wednesday night. You know, I know it's a tough opening fixture, but what a fixture to get your players fired up for a tournament. If the players aren't coming into this really up for it from that first whistle, you know, you can see it as a catalyst to really boost your confidence for the rest of the tournament. Flip it on its head. Yeah, you can see it as a tough opener, but at the same time, it really sets you up well, doesn't it, for the tournament if you start with a victory against a tough opposition. The fact is England should not fear Croatia. We have far more for them to worry about than the other way around, and I think England just need to take this game by the scruff of the neck and show their superiority in this fixture. Croatia, of course, can cause an upset. I am not underestimating them. Thomas Tuchel isn't Gareth Southgate. I don't think he'll play for a draw in this fixture. He will want a victory as well, and I just think I'm just buzzing for it, because let's be real, Croatian fans, England fans, we've had some fantastic games. They're always tight affairs as well, always a bit of drama in it. There's always usually goals as well. Bring it on. You know, I am pleased with drawing Croatia, because it's sometimes nice to share that history with other nations where you're continuously having these battles. So, you know, bring on Croatia. I think the main thing, it will be a fair contest, won't it? I think it'll be played in the right way between these two players and sets of fans. Two European powerhouses going at it on their opening day of Group L. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Thank you all so much for my channel members. You are all absolute legends. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all on my next video.